Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another walk around video of a brand new 2020 product. Well, I guess I can't say brand new because it's dirty. I have been out testing this, but this is our HD10 Defender Limited. For 2020, the Defender Limited comes with the full cab, and then it also has a cool feature, which is HVAC. So that's pretty cool. You get heat and you get AC. Kind of an answer to Polaris North Star, and a very good one at that. This is a really fully featured rig. You're gonna pay for it. This is not a cheap side-by-side. This is at the absolute top of the top, but it comes with a whole lot of cool stuff. Comes with really nice front bumpers, comes with a 4,500 pound Warren winch, full cab like I was talking about. Some of the cool features up front as well is it's got kind of the cool illuminated lights up front. You know, they kind of give that little bit of a definition and sort of a standalone feature. Something that sets it apart from the rest. It's got really nice badging. For 2020, this vehicle only comes in two colors. It comes in either the kind of shiny gloss gray or this camo pattern. For 2021, there is three options of color, but you can only get this in HD10. Can't get an HD8, not available. So it's just 82 horsepower, I believe 69 foot-pounds of torque, 12 inches of ground clearance, and that comes by way of really nice suspension components, but also 27-inch tires on this kind of more upgraded rig. One of the really neat features about the whole cab is that it's hard glass. It's not plexi anywhere. So even the side windows are glass, and then it's got power windows as well. So both driver and passenger are power up, power down windows, which is pretty unique. A very expensive feature if you're gonna buy this aftermarket or you're gonna buy the cab separate. And also the glass means no scratching, no Lexan issues to deal with, and you can put a windshield wiper on, which it has. Let me just, it's got a nice windshield wiper. It also has the squirters, so you can keep it clean if it gets a little bit muddy. The HVAC control is right here on the dash, and one of the neat things about the HVAC in here is that it's climate control. So you've got an LCD gauge, and all you do is you hold down the power button, it shuts off. When the vehicle's running, it's not going to make AC when it's not, but it will blow heat if it's not running, as long as there's some left in the heater core. You turn it on, you set your temperature to whatever your desired temperature is. Today it's hot, so we're going to set it low, and you set it and forget it, George Foreman style. When we do start the vehicle, if you want to change from cool to just fan, you can do that, but the only other adjustment, whether it's summer or winter time, you don't have to do anything. You can leave this set at 70 degrees, and in the summer it'll keep it cool, and the winter it'll keep it warm. Pretty smart, very simple. I do have to say that I would like to have fan settings on here as a separate. I'd like to be able to just separately adjust the fan with the AC on to a little bit higher fan speed, because it blows really well, but I could probably use just a little bit more AC. If you compare it to a Polaris North Star, the North Star does push the AC out just a little bit harder. So that's one thing that I think could be updated, is just a bit higher fan speed. Saying that, it's air conditioning in a side-by-side. I should probably just shut the heck up. One of the other cool features about this, close the doors, power windows, I already talked about that. But if you're cruising down the trail and it's still too hot, or maybe it's springtime and you just want some fresh air, or it's wintertime and you want to, I don't know, cool off, you can go ahead and just push the front glass open. It's on hydraulic struts. The hinges are really beefy. It's meant to be ridden like this. This isn't just a when you're parked type feature. This can be used at any time, whenever you want. And it's kind of cool. I'll be honest with you, I don't trust these terribly greatly, just because it feels weird to have a big panel of glass shaking around out there in front of you, but I did drive it down the trail at a pretty good pace, and it's still there. But it's always been weird to me thinking about leaving a windshield open and riding down the trail, especially if you catch a stick or a decent sized branch. I think it could get expensive, but that being said, it is a cool feature and it does work. And when I'm just sitting, you know, with people in front of you, or if you're riding with ATVers, you don't have to get out of the vehicle. You can pop the front glass open and you feel like you're part of the conversation. So I think that's kind of a cool feature and something unique. While that glass is open, you can see that this does have defrosters up front. So in the wintertime, it's going to defrost your windshield when you are plowing the snow or just out riding. I have them turned off right now so that the AC is directed back into the cab to all the little adjustable heat vents. Inside, it's limited, so it's got, you know, nicer seating, not anything really different than past. Still has the Can Am lunchbox, which I don't know, maybe people use these, but I think there's a whole lot better that we could do. It's a weird little box. I don't get it, but that's okay. I don't have to. Maybe some of you like it. There is good storage up front on this thing. Lots of lots of area to put stuff, and then there's lots of glove box storage underneath, as well as good cup holders. You do lose a little bit of the trunk space underneath because of these two cup holder, or because of the HVAC unit, I believe. So usually you get this big trunk that's running all the way across, but now you've got two cup holders. Truthfully, you got a box in the back, and you even got this little like faux cigarette tray over on this side as well. So lots of storage inside, as well as door pockets on the doors. There's good area to put stuff. So really, I think you're doing all right. And then this is one of the features that I do love on all Can Am Defenders. The under seat trunk is an awesome idea. I think the lunchbox is weird. I think this one is perfect. So there's always good storage inside of a Can Am. And obviously the seats do the tip up. And then our armrest in here has cup holders and a little storage area as well. So if you're just riding two people, you got lots of room, lots of space. You'll notice in behind that this is insulated. So the whole cab, roof, oh, there's a dome light on the roof too. I forgot to show that. It's pretty cool that you get all of this stuff going. You get full insulation, you get full glass, front, rear, sides, power windows, the whole 9 yards. A gripe at this price level is the fact that there's no stereo. There's all the cutouts for it. You can see the cutouts for the speakers that you need to cut if you buy the accessory stereo kit from Can Am. But I think at like upper $30,000 range, it should come with a stereo, even just a basic one that can be upgraded afterwards. But I think it'd be easy to put a little Bluetooth head unit in and a couple of speakers. It's not going to cost that much, but I think it would go a long way at this price level. So move back to the outside. So we talked about the fact that it's got 27-inch Maxxis. I'm pretty sure they're Bighorn 2.0s. Yes, they are, from the factory. 12 inches of ground clearance, 82 horsepower, 69 foot-pounds of torque. Fully usable box space. The HVAC unit doesn't take up any space back here. You can see we've already been out testing this thing. It's a little bit dirty, a little bit beat up, and the rim's got some scuffs. But just like Can Am always is, very clean, very tidy, very refined. The 82 horsepower from the HD10 works well. This does have drive modes, so on the dash you can select your drive modes if you want to do like eco or work, and it just kind of limits your throttle inputs. Very similar to Ski-Doo Snowmobile with their drive-by-wire throttle system. The tailgate on this unit, I believe that they beefed up the tailgate, so it's a little bit stronger. It'll take a little bit more weight. It's 250 pounds now on the tailgate alone. So somebody like me who's cresting the 200-pound mark doesn't have to feel like I'm going to break the tailgate off if I jump up and sit on there. Very pickup truck-like. I mean, everybody who tips the tailgate down wants to sit on it. So you can do that on here. You just may not want to do it with you and your buddy. So anyways, it does still have the measuring device too. I consider this to be a fish measuring device, but you know, maybe you could use it for other things, but it does have the little scales on there for that. It has the cutouts in the box that Can Am's always had in this Defender generation for putting your small pails in. So if you're working on the farm, you put your pails in, you run your tie strap up and through the top of the pails, and it keeps them located. They don't slip around. Really smart ideas like that. The stake pockets on the side take your 2x4s, they don't take 2x4s. They take something slightly smaller than that, but you can make it work with a 2x4 and a little bit of ingenuity. But the nice part is they don't go all the way through. It's not some special piece that you got to do. You can get dimensional lumber to fit inside of here, and you can get the stakes on the side of your box, which is kind of nice. And then obviously you got all of your accessory mounts from Can Am. You can put just about anything you want on this rig. You know, all the work accessories, all the stuff. There's like 400 accessories you can put on this vehicle. So I went out and rode this, and I put some time in on it. I did the test ride already. You guys will be seeing that in just a little bit. And I'd say one of the things I noticed right away, because you've got a cab on this vehicle, and I'm probably going way too test ridey on you right now, but you're gonna find this out in the future. This vehicle weighs 500 pounds more than the base like HD8 does. And a lot of that weight is up high. It's not low center of gravity. It's very high because this cab is all glass, because there's, you know, steel involved in it, because it's got that HVAC unit. That stuff isn't down at ground level, it's up much higher. And what that does is it makes it feel a little more rolly on the trails, and it does feel more cumbersome. So when you're braking, it's a little squishier. When you're accelerating, it's not quite as strong. It's still very good. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's no slouch. But you do notice those things. And I would say at the price that Can Am's delivering this at, and with that Max badging on there, I really feel like it needs to have a higher quality shock package. not because you necessarily need it all the time, but when we were laboring down the trail, when we had stuff in the back of this and we were cruising along at a good pace, I definitely felt like the shocks were getting a little bit overdriven. So that's one area that I think could be updated. Probably 80% of users will never experience that because they're not going to ride the wheels off this thing heavily loaded. It's probably going to be moving around the farm, taking things slow. It may be a much more accessible vehicle for folks who can't get out in the extreme heat or the extreme cold, and this makes it more accessible for them. So that could be a really big benefit for them. My thought was, Can Am from Skidoo's side has lots of air ride technology. They've used it on, I think the XTP they had it on. So I think this would be the perfect vehicle to have an air ride, self-leveling type suspension. It's super high end, it's the top dollar, it's got HVAC. I know when you put that stuff on, it's gonna raise the price again, but I seriously think the buyer going through the showroom door is not considering price so much when they're looking at one of these. If you're price conscious and you're going in on a budget, you're not gonna be buying a Defender Max, or sorry, a Defender Limited. That's not the one you go in for. So I think this buyer with self-leveling air ride suspension when you do get a good load in the back, and just that little bit more supple compliant ride, maybe even the new shock technology that they've got, the Smart Shocks for X3, which I know is very different, but you could make that work for a utility vehicle. I think that would be pretty cool. And then the stereo. So my two gripes really are just, for me, a slightly higher quality shock package and a stereo from the factory. Besides that, I think that just about anybody who sits their butt in this vehicle is going to have super, super small complaints, like very little picky stuff that's pretty much just personal preference, because honestly, Can Am's really hit it out of the park with this. They answered the call of the Polaris North Star, and I think they did a great job with it. Is it better? I'm not sure. There's things that I like better about it. There's things that I don't like as much, but I do think that they've done a great job, and at a head-to-head, it'd all come down to the dealer, the price, and yeah, I think those two things, because really the product is excellent. It's exceptional. It does a good job, pretty much fully featured. The unit looks good, works well, the cab's amazing, and if you do all of this stuff aftermarket, you're gonna spend way more than you would right from the dealer. So don't think you can get by and do a better job buying aftermarket and accessorizing your vehicle to match this. You can't. Hope you guys like this walk around. Hope you've been liking the stuff we've been doing this season. A little bit different with all the stuff going on in the world, but please like our videos, hit that subscribe button, and keep checking out our stuff. And hopefully you're watching on TRAX on TV as well. Thanks for watching.